Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I am glad you made it. The annual clothing allowance, yes, annual. I think I misspoke on a prior video. The annual clothing allowance for veterans is $1,024.50. You must apply by, that's Stan in the background. He's a rooster. He does that. Anyway, you must apply by August 1st, 2025. August 1st, 2025. We're in July. There's only a few days left. Please do this if you are eligible for your clothing allowance. And oh, by the way, you can receive multiple clothing allowances. Let's say that you're ruining your shirt with one thing and you're ruining your pants with another thing, right? Whatever the circumstances are, you get it? Apply. The answer is always no if you don't ask. So if you're kind of in between and you're not quite sure, well, then just do it and see what they say. Now, let's go through this. I'm going to, one, talk about the clothing allowance, how you would be approved, go through this. I just did a video on this. I'm just trying to front load it, get the information out there for everybody so they understand. Clothing allowance, effective for December 1st, 2024. It adjusts every year. Once we hit December again, it's going to change and then it's going to say a different number. So here we are. If a skin medicine, prosthetic, or orthopedic device related to your, here's the key, service-connected condition damages your clothes, the VA may pay you out $1,024.50 to replace these damaged clothes. This may be a one-time payment, or they may do this amount once a year. There is a notation. Let's jump to that. It says, note, you'll need to submit your application on or before August 1st, 2025 to get a clothing allowance for this year. Now, look, if you have not filed for a skin condition, or you don't have a prosthetic or an orthopedic device today, and you're working on a claim that would warrant those things, then you're just gonna have to wait until next year, right? You can file at any time. They just hold on to them until August 1st, and then they process, and then they'll pay out typically September or October. So if you file now, you'll be paid out September or October. If you file August 3rd, they'll hold on to it until next year, and then you'll be paid out September or October of 2026. All right, so let's jump into some of the information here on the clothing allowance. Again, you could receive multiple clothing allowances. I think I've seen people with 3 and 4 clothing allowances. So VA clothing allowance, if your clothing has been damaged by your prosthetic or orthopedic device, such as a wheelchair, or by the medicine you're taking for a skin condition, you may be able to get money each year to help you buy new clothes. This is called an annual clothing allowance. Keep reading to find out more. Here we go. This is directly from the VA's website. You may be eligible for a clothing allowance if you meet the requirements listed here. One of these must be true. Your prosthetic or orthopedic device damages your clothes. Or your skin medicine causes damage to your outer clothing, like your pants or your shirt, that cannot be repaired. All right, great. And then it says, and this must be true. You need this device or skin medicine because of an injury or illness related to your military service, called a service-connected condition. So, again, if you're not already service-connected for a condition that would warrant these things, then you probably want to do that. And then you may already have one of these things, a condition that is damaging your clothes, and you may not have known about the clothing allowance. Take advantage of it. The form that you would need to submit is somewhere. I'm looking for it. Jeez. It's the VA form 10-8678. 8678 is the form. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to the VA directly at 800-827-1000. It's the general number, and they're pretty helpful with that. So jumping back into it here, what the question here is, what kind of clothing allowance can I get? And the next question, and you know what, I'll read you these 3 questions and then we'll read the answers, so that way you know what's coming up. So do I need to, the first one was, what kind of clothing allowance can I get? Next question is, do I need to apply every year to get an annual payment? The last question, how do I get a clothing allowance? All right, so let's do this. What kind of clothing allowance can I get? You may be able to get an annual payment if you meet at least one of the requirements listed here. All right, so at least one of these must be true. You have more than one prosthetic or orthopedic device, or you have more than one skin medicine, and or your device or skin medicine affects more than one type of clothing. All right, now remember that this is there's different situations for everybody, right? Remember that the qualifying criteria above is one of these must be true. Your prosthetic or orthopedic device damages your clothes, or your skin medicine causes damage to your outer clothing, like your pants or your shirt. So they specify pants or shirt for skin medicine. They don't specify they don't specify pants or shirt for prosthetic or orthopedic devices, and they don't specify multiple. So down here for the annual payment instead of the one-time payment, so this is the separation here. There's one where you can get an annual payment where they just pay you every year based on your multiple criteria. And then the other is you may have to apply every year. Okay, so I would check with the VA specific to your condition and your clothing allowance that you put in for. Okay, everybody's situation's different. So moving on here, remember that it said that you can receive a one-time payment, right, or an annual payment. So to get an annual payment, which is the one we were just talking about, or if you want to apply for an additional clothing allowance, you'll need to qualify for August or by August 1st of that year. The VA collects the applications throughout the year and holds them until the August 1st closing date. If you qualify, you'll receive your payment between September 1st and October 31st. It says here, notation, if we determine that you no longer meet the eligibility requirements for an annual clothing allowance, we may stop or decrease your payments. Do you need to apply every year to get an annual payment? If you received a clothing allowance payment in 2022 or 2023, that's where it stops. I'm assuming it's 2024 as well, but in 2022 or 2023, you no longer need to submit an application every year to continue to get an annual payment. But if you want to receive an additional clothing allowance, you do need to submit an application. So again, I personally would contact the VA directly and ask them, hey, look, I applied for my clothing allowance last year. Here we are now. Do I need to apply again? Do I not? Or I have other clothing items, other conditions, whatever it is. Could I apply for another one in addition to? So how do I get a clothing allowance? You'll need to submit an application for the annual clothing allowance. Then again, that is VA Form 10-8678. You can download that form from the VA's website. I would suggest get it directly from the VA's website so you ensure that you get the most up-to-date form. It says here, notation, you must have a service-connected disability to get a clothing allowance. If you haven't filed a claim for disability compensation yet, you'll need to do that first. In the event that you can't figure out your disability claim yourself, you can't find a competent and credible VA accredited representative, we can help you. We are evidence-based VA claims. The information will be in the description and in the comments as well. With that, Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.